I appreciate the efforts by UDSF, United Dalit Student Federation, that you guys are the part of the legacy which we are celebrating right now. So, because I belong to the media, I know that most of you might hate media, but yes, we are, building our legacy and we are carrying forward the legacy of Ambedkarite media. So, we have different understanding of media and journalism. So, I'm going to speak about Bahujan media, its challenges and vision, and the way forward, which is the title which is given to me. So, I'm going to speak about it. Last time when I was there, last year I was celebrating Baba Sahib Jayanti and Jyotiba Phule Jayanti here only on this hall, and I was talking about the Ambedkarite journalism. That what is Ambedkarite journalism and how we differentiate between the mainstream or the mono-stream journalism. So last time I discussed about the legacy of Ambedkarite journalism, because I told you guys, some of you might have been last time also, that in journalism there are some kind of definitions about journalism, which is they teaches us in classrooms, and they tell about the definitions of journalism. So numbers of definitions were taught to us also, but I like one of the best definition in my classroom, that you just need to raise a question mark. You need to raise a question mark what is happening around. If something is wrong, and people are being deprived of their basic rights and things are not going in a good way, and somebody is responsible for it, you just need to raise a question mark, that why these things are going wrong, who is responsible for this, and what are the way forward. This is the basic understanding of journalism, that you just need to raise a question mark. So when I see the media which is doing journalism right now, because I've been into different media organization. I started my career with ABP, Z, News Nation, India News. So I have spent a quite years of my journalism in mainstream media. I would say mono-stream media. They are not mainstream media. So when I see them, that are they really doing journalism? Are they really raising some serious questions on whatever bad things are happening around, whatever wrong things are happening in India? Are they really raising question marks? And I find that no, they are not doing journalism. They are good for nothing. They are just doing PR, the public relations, which is a term in mass communication, taught to us that you need to speak on somebody's behalf. You need to set your agenda. You need to set different ideas accordingly. So they are just setting the agenda, and they are not doing journalism. But when I look at the legacy of my people, that when I relate my journalism to Buddha, that these guys were raising the question mark. Whatever wrong things, whatever bad things were happening at their time, they were just raising a question mark, that yes, you just cannot say that some people are superior than you and some people are lesser than you, and you cannot decide their fate, you cannot decide their social hierarchy, and they were raising serious question marks. So I relate my legacy of journalism to Buddha. I relate my legacy of journalism to Kabir, who was just challenging the current status quo. They were challenging the caste system, the dominant caste people's behavior to the oppressed communities. So they were raising question mark. He was just directly asking that Jotu Baman Bamni Jayan Bat Kahe Na Aya. So he was just raising a question mark. So in my opinion, he was doing journalism. I'm just repeating these things because I just wanted to make you understand that what kind of journalism we are part of it. So I relate my journalism to Sant Kabir. I relate my journalism to Sant Ravidas. ऐसा चाहूँ राज में जहाँ मिले सबन को अन, छोट बड़े सब सम बसे रहदास रहे प्रसन्न. जात जात में जात है जो केतन के पात, रहदास मनुष्य न बन सके जब तक जात न जात. So my people were raising a question mark. They were just trying to make a society better, and they were using journalism as a tool. So in my opinion, they all were the part of. So they were raising question mark, and they were trying to make the society better in their own time. So in my opinion, he's a journalist. He was the founding editor of his, whatever he was running. So I find my inspiration to Sant Kabir. I find my inspiration to Sant Ravidas. And when we look at the Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar, he published numbers of newspapers, magazines. Around 36 years of his life he spent in journalism. So he was using journalism to speak about his own people, for the oppressed people, and he was trying to build something good for them. Look at Rashtrapita Jyotiba Phule, what he was doing. He started the Deen Bandhu newspaper along with his one of close friend, and he was also doing journalism. Look at Periyar. He started many periodicals. He started many, newspapers, magazines, Kudiya Rasu, Revolt, Justice, so that they can, make society better through journalism. So in my opinion, they were doing journalism. Look at Sahib Kansiram. He started different kind of, magazines, Oppressed Indian, Bahujan Sangatak, Untouchable India, just to make the society better, so that they can use journalism as a tool to, raise their own people's voice, which is neglected and ignored by the mainstream media. So when somebody asks me that where do you find the inspiration of doing journalism, so I don't find my inspiration to Ruby Kaliakat or Anjana Modi or Deepak Chaurasia or Sudhir Chaudhary. They all were my colleagues. I was working with them. They were my senior bosses. So I don't find and relate my journalism to them, although I have been part of that mainstream media. But I relate and find my inspiration to my own people, those who were doing tremendous job of journalism. And in some school of journalism in India, now they teaches and they awards you on the name of Narad Muni, and they says that Narad is a first journalist of India, because he used to take information from one place to another place. So he was a reporter and the first journalist of India. So that kind of legacy is there. But we have a great legacy of Ambedkarite media, Ambedkarite journalism, from Buddha to Kabir and Sant Ravidas to Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar and Jyotiba Phule, Periyar, Kashiram Sahib. So we have a great legacy of raising question mark, and I'm very proud that I'm part of that legacy. I'm just contributing to the legacy, which is celebrated by all of us as Ambedkarite media, Bahujan media. So I'm part of it, and I'm just representing my community through journalism. My topic is really interesting and really very good, because we need to talk about the challenges to the Ambedkarite media, Bahujan media right now, because lots of things are happening around. So I have just pointed out 10 points so that I can make you understand that what kind of challenges being faced by Bahujan media. First thing is Bahujan media or Dalit media, the label is always there that you are, when you do the real kind of journalism, it's just the real serious questions, they label you with the Dalit Bahujan media. So they claim that they are mainstream media, but we are, limitized to a very particular things, and you are not supposed to, cross the borders and go beyond. So we are Bahujan media. They call us Bahujan media. They never call them self-Baman Baniya media. We should call them. So my first point to the topic is that the first challenge which we are facing right now is the sustainability. We have seen that numbers of efforts have been done in past. I was talking about Periyar Sahib, Kanshiram Sahib and Baba Sahib Dr. Ambedkar. They started different newspapers and magazines in their time, but all of them are, they stopped their publication. They are not publishing right now, and some of the efforts are also being done right now so that they can revive the legacy of Ambedkar journalism, but it's not working. So always there is a question of sustainability. Numbers of newspapers were, stopped publication because they were not able to sustain. They were not having funds. They were not having proper sponsorship. So they suffer always with the, resources crunch. So now, which is the biggest challenge to Bahujan media is the sustainability. Now, because of digital media or digital equipment and the democratization of technology, we are able to do some kind of journalism through social media. Social media company have never started these companies just for me or you, so that we can raise our voices and we can use this tool as a journalistic platform. They have used it for their profits and loss, because they are a profit making company, so they don't have that kind of mindset within them. But we are using social media as a creative tool, and we are using social media for our own people so that we can raise their voices through social media. So that is the only way right now that we are representing ourselves as a social or Bahujan media, because it's really tough to start a newspaper. It's really tough to start a newspaper news channel or the satellite TV channel. You need more than 25 crore rupees company just to achieve the license, or just to apply for this that satellite rights, that we are going to be on satellite and we need the rights, so that they can give you, and you need more than 200 crore rupees to start a national news channel, because you need to spend a lot of on resources, team and different technical aspects of the news channel. So it's really tough. But you just need a mobile phone, you just need a good internet connection, and you can start your own YouTube channel, you can start your own Facebook account, Twitter account. So now somehow it is becoming very easy for us to start our own media venture. And you see that numbers of YouTubers, numbers of social media influencers are coming on social media, and you don't need that much resources or different equipment just to start, because you just record your video and put it on your social media accounts, and you become a citizen journalist yourself, because anything can go viral. So now people are coming, they're speaking about them, but there is a question of sustainability, that is it fine just to share the videos and write your own things on social media, and doesn't creating that kind of impact, unless and until if you are a good proper media house working with the legal company laws, with the media ethics, with the journalistic ethics, and with the norms started and standardized by the government of India. So you need to be part of that media organization. So if you are working on social media, but if you are not working as a proper journalist, that is not going to make an impact. So for that you need to sustain, you need to have a sustainability model, because numbers of social media handlers and Bahujan YouTubers are just challenging themselves with the resources crunch. They don't have good mobile phone, they don't have good Wi-Fi connections, they don't have good camera, they don't have good audio quality solutions, and they don't have office also. Like for me, I don't have office, I work from home. Most of my teammates, they work from home. We just hire some other spaces, because we cannot afford office in Delhi or somewhere else. So somehow most of our people are suffering with the sustainability model. We have thoughts in our mind that can we put a paywall on our YouTube channel or on our website, so that we can have some kind of revenue sharing, we can have some kind of revenue generating formula, so that we can manage, we can survive. But over the period we have realized that we have put lots of good content on Facebook or YouTube channels, which is free, but numbers of users are not coming and they are not watching it. So that is not going to generate good content, that is not going to generate good revenue also, because people are not watching it. So that become a challenge, that if we put a paywall, and if we put something like the subscription wall or the subscription plans, are they going to join you, are they going to pay for this news which you are providing them? So that kind of temperament and that kind of understanding is not among the communities, which I feel over the period that they don't have that kind of feeling right now, that they can pay for it and they can watch it after paying it, although they might be paying to the different they called progressive media houses, but they are not paying or subscribing or joining the Bahujan YouTubers or their small media organization. So that become always a challenge. Being a part of Bahujan media, lots of news are from the atrocities areas only, because you see that numbers of assaults are being done on Dalit issue, Dalit women, Dalit people, rapes are there, massacres are there, physical assaults are there. So when a news of atrocity comes to us, we make a video report on that, we put it on our YouTube channel or Facebook. They do not monetize that particular content, they keep it in a sensitive category, and they do not monetize you on that particular video, and they says it is not suitable for the advertisers, nobody is going to advertise on your this video. So that become a challenge. If you are continuously uploading that kind of content to your YouTube channel, if you are putting that kind of stories to your audiences, that become a challenge, that is not monetized. And you need resources, because money turns your ideas into reality. I have lots of ideas, I have lots of understanding of different issues, but if I want to make it in a audio video format, I need my team, I need my equipment, I need my people around me, I need to shoot, I need to edit, I need to post production it, so that we can create a good content, we can do some really good video content to our community. So that becomes a challenge, that if we continuously upload the sensitized videos or the atrocities videos to our YouTube channel, that restrict, they do not sponsor it, they do not advertise with you cannot just ask for sponsorships to the different people, because you are working on ideological level. So you just cannot accept any kind of sponsorships or advertisers through through it. So nobody does it. Nobody, pay for the sponsors because you are working anti-caste. So they don't like anti-caste people. They don't like anti-caste news to be put out. So they do not sponsor it. So we have never, sponsored our program. Nobody has, like we have opened it once we made a video and we opened it to the ticker also, that if you want to sponsor any program, if you want to, pay, or if you want to part of any kind of campaign to us, you're free to call us. But we never got a single call from anybody that they're going to sponsor our program or any series. Yes, we do get lots of threats, but no sponsorships. So that becomes a challenge, that how you're going to sustain, how you're going to make it possible, because people are not, supporting in a way so that, like, if numbers of people from community, they just share your videos, they watches your video, you receive more content, you receive more revenue also, you receive the wider audiences also. But that is not going to happen, which is a part of my challenge. I'm going to speak up about this. So sustainability is really a difficult task, us, that for how long we can survive without the proper means of revenue or support, or I need lots of things if I'm planning to do something. If I'm discussing, you guys are sitting in, you need each mic to speak up. If you want to just own your mic so that other people can listen to you, you need this mic. I need this mic to speak up so that I don't need to shout and you can understand what I'm trying to say. So equipments are the basic necessity. You just cannot deny the fact that you can just have a small mobile phone and keep uploading video which is not in good quality, sound is not proper, animation is not there, graphics are not there. You're just putting the videos and clips on social media. This is the short video format era. People are watching your reels, people are watching the short videos, 10-second, 5 seconds video. So you have to be very, very creative to put your content to the community, because you just cannot expect that your community people will be just watching your boring discussions or seminars or some kind of shitty content. You just cannot, just because they are Dalit, they are not compelled to watch your content if it is not interesting. So I need to make my content really interesting so that my people can understand and they can grab it, so they don't just ignore my content. And for that reason I need resources. Everybody needs resources. Everybody needs equipment and technology, and for that you need money. And that becomes a challenge to us, that how you going to survive, how are you gonna sustain your own media organization. So sustainability is biggest challenge to us, and we are facing it. Most of the Bahujan media are now facing it. Second challenge which I see in current regime is the government's evil eye on Bahujan media or Dalit media. There is a movie called Dabang. If you have seen, there is a scene when Salman Khan goes to Sonakshi Sinha. She's making some kind of port. उसमें वो उसको बोलता है कि I guess he proposed her, and वो बोलती है थप्पड़ से डर नहीं लगता साहब, प्यार से डर लगता है. If you guys have seen it, बहुत साल पहले मैंने देखा था. तो समटाइम आई थिंक कि नरेंद्र मोदी और अमित शाह जब लोग मिलते होंगे, बैठते होंगे, तो ये लोग क्या बोलते होंगे, मतलब आपस में ये लोग क्या बोलते होंगे कि मीडिया से डर नहीं लगता साहब, सोशल मीडिया से लगता है. So, because they can control media, they can just send a message. They can give a FaceTime call or WhatsApp message to the editor of any media organization. There are numbers of evidences. There are numbers of things. I've been part of media. I know how things works in Indian media. They can control directly the entire media houses, and they are just working for them, very well. So they can control the mainstream media, but it's become very challenging to them. It's become very difficult job for them to control social media. तो सोशल मीडिया से डर लगता है. इफ दैट डायलॉग टर्न्स, तो उनको मीडिया से डर नहीं लगता. So how they gonna curb it, how they gonna control Bahujan media or the progressive media also, although I don't like this progressive one, I'm gonna talk it about later. They are trying to some kind of to put you in your restricted area. They don't want you to work on particular issues. They try to stop you, and for that reason they have numbers of rules and regulations which recently was brought by the Indian government, such as the IT Intermediary Guidelines and Digital Media Ethics Code rules 2021. They brought some kind of media guidelines and digital media regulations to control or to curb the digital media. For example, if you are working as a media organization, or if you're doing some kind of journalism on social media, you have to be a registered entity. You need to be a company. You need to be a registered legal entity so that you can work like a journalist or a media house. For that reason, if you are going to establish your private limited company, if you are going for Section 8 company, you are going for LLP, at least you need 2-3 lakhs rupee to start your company. At least you need to put 1 lakh rupee in your account so that you can have a current account. Just to open your company's current account in a bank, you need around 1 lakh rupee. So that becomes a challenge for small media organization, that is it possible for them to start a company, a legal entity, and work like a journalist. So that becomes a challenge to them. So that's a particular rule in this intermediary guidelines, that you need to be a proper legal entity. You need to share your address, you need to share your identity, you need to put it on your Facebook, you need to put it on your digital media website so that people can know who people are working there, how many people are there who are working on particular media organization. You need to reveal your address. You need to send a proper format form filled with proper details of your team and yours, with your PAN number, with your Aadhaar number, with your mobile number, with your address. Every detail is there. You need to send that particular form to the information ministry, IT ministry, INB ministry we call it. So you need to share that detail to the government. Otherwise they can take actions against you. That becomes a challenge for us, because numbers of people are under attack, and it is really difficult. If you are part of the right wing or Hindutva or the government kind of people, you can have easily access of our information. You can have our access of address and mobile numbers, and lots of things happens after that. So that becomes a challenge for small media organization. Second thing, that if you are working as a journalist, then you have to be part of your self-redressal grievance committee also. That's part of this intermediary guidelines, that you should have a mechanism within your media organization, that if somebody they don't like your content, they can complain against you within the redressal committee. So you have to form, that's a norm set by the government of India, that you should have a self-redressal grievance committee. People can complain about your content, and somebody has to be an ombudsman kind of person has to be there, or he or she can look after the complaint, and they can take action against you, or they can take down your content. So you have to set your own redressal committee within the media organization which you are working. So that becomes a challenge to us, because in my team we have 3 people permanent and 2-3 people are like freelancers. So I cannot afford somebody to put on a particular post, and I can set his office or her office so that they can work on content. That becomes really challenge. We don't have office, so how can I provide office and basic infrastructure to an ombudsman so that they can look at my content? So that becomes a challenge. Apart from it, if you are not doing it, you have to do it. That's a norm. Otherwise you have to be part of a bigger, larger digital media entity also, like kind of different digital media organization, a group of associations of different digital media organization, like Digipub is there with different progressive media, and some kind of individuals is there. So you have to part of that digital media association also. That's a norm set by the government of India. So and for that organization, you need to have a person, an ombudsman, who is the retired high court judge. So that's the basic minimum qualification, that you need to put in retired high court judge for the ombudsman position, and he or she will look after the complaint against you. If somebody is not happy with your content, they're going to complain to you. If they are not happy with the redressal or the solutions which your internal committee has provided, they will complain against you on the redressal committee, which is the outer committee, or the bigger digital media organization association. So they can complain against you, and they can take actions against you, and later on they have always option to file FIR or cases or complaint to the INB ministry against your content. So that becomes a very, very difficult challenge for us if we are working with the limited resources, with the limited team, with the limited particular options with us. That becomes a challenge that to us, that how we gonna meet up the basic necessities and the basic norms which are set by the government of India. Now recently there was a decision by the government of India, PIB. We have a Press Information Bureau, government agency which is responsible for sharing information of government official decisions and whatever happening with the government of union. So they share the information. So recently what Indian government has done, that they have given powers to PIB, that you have to fact check the social media and the news which is shared on social media, that is it fake or not. So you just need to check it, and you can just quote it, or you can put a mark on that tweet or a Facebook post or a YouTube channel's video that it is fake. They can put it like if I'm putting some kind of tweet, I'm writing on Twitter account, PIB can come and they can they can just tag me and they can just quote my tweet that it's a fake information and that's not real without having proper kind of investigation. So if they have done it, then I'm compelled, social media companies are compelled to take down my tweets and posts from every part of social media. That is a rule set up by the Indian government recently. So what happens that most of the time, if we are doing some kind of story which Indian government or the authorities don't like, they don't like your stories and they don't want you to work on particular stories, they can easily say that it's a fake news. And they can easily say, if you say ki, if any for example, if I'm covering an atrocity issues and I quote a statement by the police official or the government officials on particular stories, and later on they can deny that no, I never said it, I was not there, although we just record their voice or we try to make evidence to us, but they can do it, and on basis of that they can just put a fake news tag on me, and I have to be take down my post, or the social media companies will take down my post. That's a very serious issue. Although this PIB itself has shared numbers of fake news in past on different government decisions, it is very disturbing that PIB is going to take it, because that's a challenge to us. So now Bahujan Media is facing such kind of kind of pressure or some kind of ways to stop our voices of being raising our issues. So they're trying. Government of India is not happy with us, and they have an evil eye on Bahujan Media particularly. So they are trying to curb it, and numbers of efforts are being done by them. Third challenge which I see is the harassment to the community journalists, because as I was talking about that they can easily register FIR against you, they can file cases against you, they can even there are numbers of cases where community journalists are being targeted by the right wing also, and the people who don't like your idea. So physical assaults are always there. We have seen that last time me and my friend Mohit were there in Gujarat election, and we were just discussing, we were doing a story. Numbers of people from RSS, they came, and it was a very tough situation for us to leave that area. So we were 2 people and there were more than 20 people. They surrounded us and they shouted that they're gonna hurt us. So that becomes a challenge in field. That's a very tough job, that kind of assaults and threats are always there if you are from community, and if you are working against the Brahminical order and you are working anti-caste, so that always a challenge to us. They can easily fire a fire against you, like any part of the area, wherever they have their governments. Like what happens if they file a fire against me in Assam? Look at the Jignesh Mevani case. He was taken to Assam's jail on his tweet. So that harassment is always there. If any kind of defamation case, if any kind of fake news allegation case, or religious sentiment hurt case is there, they can put it in Gujarat, some Odisha, or any part of the India. So that's going to be very difficult for me if I need to proceed the legal procedure. I need to be part of the investigation, or I need to produce myself to court. So that becomes a challenge to this small media, Bahujan Media organization, that how you gonna fight back in a legal way, because you don't have a legal team, you don't have somebody who can assist you, who can guide you on particular topics, and they can take your cases to the court. So that becomes a really difficult challenge to us, that how you gonna fight back if people are trying to disturb you in that way. And the trolling, online trolling is always there. Most of you people are on social media, Facebook and Twitter. You have seen that there is a gang, there is a group of people who trolls you, no matter what you're writing, no matter what kind of things you're sharing on your social media handles. They are like continuously coming and abusing you, tagging you in their memes, the very disturbing memes, and different abuses are there. So I have seen it. I have people are going us. We get lots of threat calls. People, they just call us, they abuse us. If you just open my inbox, you'll see there's more than thousands abuses are there every day. So which I receive on WhatsApp, on my inbox and DM. So it's become very difficult that how we gonna deal with the troll. So that kind of harassment is also there to the community journalists in India right now. Fourth challenge which I see to the Bahujan Media is the online pressure on Bahujan Media. because as I was just talking about that, when these social media companies started their own social media companies, they never had an idea that one day Sumit Chauhan or anybody else will use social media as a tool of journalistic platform. They never had an idea. They were just creating a platform which is going to help them in business also, because these are the proper business making companies, and business formula is just about the profit and loss. They have nothing to do with the democracy. They have nothing to do with the betterment of society. They are just working for their goals, their profits and loss only. So they don't like if we are doing journalism on them. And because they are shaking hands with the government also. There are numbers of cases which you can relate that social media companies are shaking hand with the government. Look at the Cambridge Analytica case. Look at the that lady, Ghosh lady, who was the Facebook India head, and when one of BJP MLA, he wrote something against Muslim community on Facebook, and when Facebook's initial team they wanted to take action and take down his account, so she interrupted and she said, no, you are not going to take action against him. So somehow I believe that they are shaking hands with government and they're not taking action against the particular ideological people's accounts or their channels, but somehow they pressurize us. How do they do it? It happens that when you are raising questions on government and raising some serious remarks on the anti people policies, so they shadow ban you. One is the ban, the very popular term in Indian Modi regime, that they ban you. They सब कुछ ban कर दो, जो दिख रहा है उसको ban कर दो. So second term is the shadow ban, that they do not ban you, but they do not allow you to raise your voice in a larger manner. They limitize your tweets, they limitize your channels, they limitize your Facebook post. When you see something on Twitter or Facebook, you hardly goes to particular person or searching their names or their profiles. We just scroll the feed, we just have a look, we just scan it. If something interesting comes to us, we just look, we watch it, we share it or we read it. So what happens when they shadow ban you? Your channel, your post, your Twitter account, they are not visible to different people. So those who are your followers, it wouldn't be visible to them. They won't see your post, they won't read your post. So that's happened that it start declining. It is, the reach is declining, and many people are not coming to us. It happens with our YouTube channel also, that they limitize us, they shadow ban us, and numbers of people, they don't see our feed, they don't see our video stories, notifications are not going them, they are not watching our content because of the shadow banning. Also the companies are doing it. Second thing, what they do, they suspend our accounts and handles also. Whenever government of India is not happy with us, they reach out to social media companies, and if social media companies are not responding or helping government, they raid them. Look at the raid at Twitter's office. So it happened in Gurgaon and Delhi last year. So they do it. Some kind of pressure is also them, and they're shaking hands with the government of India also, and they suspend our account without proper information. They do not discuss with us, they do not want us to be part of the investigation. They just directly one day they'll come and they'll say that this particular post or video is against our community standard, it is not good, we don't like it, and they just suspend your accounts. We have faced it. There is no communication, there is nothing, you cannot just reach back to them. It becomes a very, very difficult task, that how you gonna deal with the social media companies, because they are not ready to listen us. And it happens like, look at the Twitter case. When a hashtag is there, when you are raising particular issue with the community, hashtag is going on, suddenly you will see that your hashtag is number one, and suddenly you see that it is not there, it is not visible, that hashtag is particularly removed from the trending list. It has happened, we have seen it. And earlier though there was no Twitter verification to the community people also. Before 3 years, I remember particularly that we raised a very serious campaign on Twitter, and we were asking Twitter that why you are not giving blue check marks to the community people, although they were giving to the Savarna people. They were doing their own genuine connections. They were talking to them and giving them blue check marks to the different people, but they were denying the blue check mark to the community people. Thankfully, now you can just pay and have the blue check mark. So they were trying to stop you from becoming opinion maker. They were trying to becoming you from influencer, so that you can shape the mind, you can set your own discourse and agenda. They were trying. So these social media company, I see that they are also not trustworthy, and they are not going to help us. So we have a challenge of uh, self kind of platform, so that we are free from the limitation, we are free from such kind of restrictions. So are we able to start our own YouTube channel, or some kind of platform which is relevant, or some kind of parallel platforms? So that becomes a challenge to us, that how long we can be on YouTube, how long we can be on social media. One day they'll just sell their company to someone else, and they'll start their own things, and they'll put some kind of other guidelines. So that becomes a challenge, that how long we can survive on these social media platforms, unless and until they're not going to take strict action against us. So that's a challenge to us, I feel. Sixth reason I see is the news source and fake news. So now making a difference between a news and fake news is really a challenge. That's very, very challenging, whether it is technological wise, or whether it is the mainstream news wise, because mainstream media itself is sharing different fake news on their TV channels, on their media platforms. And look at this Tamil Nadu, Bihar Mazdoor issue. They were spreading fake news. They were just reporting, or they were running their bulletin that this has happened, although it was not reality. So that becomes a challenge to the Bahujan media, that how you gonna differentiate between news and fake news, because numbers of videos are there on social media, and most of the sources to Bahujan media are the social media viral clips and links. Because we don't have reporters, we don't have our stringers in different areas of India, so we are rely on social media post only, that if somebody is putting an atrocity video, or some kind of pictures, or some kind of information on social media handles, so we take the sources from the news, or the particular tweets, and we try to reach out to them. We need to independently verify that whether it is true or it is fake, because right now that's a very challenge, and it becomes a challenge to the community journalists, that how you going to verify it, because you don't have that kind of mechanism or the infrastructure, so that you can send your reporters, you can send your stringers to the particular location, you can talk to the police officials or government officials, and you can re-verify your claims, and you can put proper news on social media or your YouTube channel. So that becomes a challenge, and lots of Bahujan media journalists are facing it, because it happens that if any atrocity video is there, if some kind of assaults video is there, so we are very emotional, and we see that lots of bad things are happening to the community. Our people are being deprived from basic rights, they are being killed, they are being urinated, they are being like tortured in any way. So that hurts, that's very emotional, it hurts us. So sometimes we becomes very sentimental also, we feel so emotional also, that we just see a video, we just see a particular post, and we tweet about it, we put it on our social media handles, and without verifying the facts, without verifying the news, that is it really true or not, we start writing our emotions on social media. So that part is also a challenge to the community journalists, that how you going to verify, and how you can put your emotions apart from your day-to-day journalistic life, so that you give them proper, good and true news, so that doesn't land you into jail, because there is always a threat between you by mistake only. Like if you share any kind of fake news, they are not going to pardon you, they are just waiting for one mistake, and you just make the mistake, they'll put you in jail, they're just waiting for it. So that becomes a challenge. Numbers of community journalists are being victim of these kind of news and fake news scenario right now. That's a challenge, that how you gonna make it clear. Seventh challenge to me, please let me know about my time if I'm out of time. Seventh challenge which I see is the media training and workshop. Because most of the community journalists are not professional journalists, they have never been to any media schools. Okay, done. So they are not a part of any media organization. They are not professionals, because YouTubers or social media influencers, they are not professional journalists. They never went to any media school, workshops, training sessions, and they are just putting their mobile phones and putting videos on social media. So they are become a citizen journalist now, but they don't have that kind of expertise or that kind of training. They don't understand the media laws. They don't understand different spectrum of journalism, and they sometime out of emotions also they put lots of things which is not accordingly, and that becomes a challenge to them. That they put them in some kind of difficulties. So that media training and workshop is also required to the community journalists, that if our people are not part of some kind of media organization, we need to give them training, we need to have them workshops, we need to train them that what kind of journalism they can do, how they can fact check, how they can verify their sources, how they can write stories, how they can anchor, how they can be a good reporter, how can they can use cameras, what are the technological facilities available. So we need to train our community journalists also. So last year I'm glad that we started a Bahujan YouTubers meet. If some of you might have heard it, from past 3 years we are starting this All India Bahujan YouTubers meet, so that we can train. So last time, this was the first time that offline we had a 2 days events in Delhi, where we trained our community journalists. More than 150 YouTubers from the community were there, part of the event. We trained them about the journalism, that what is the fundamentals of journalism, what are the skills of reporting, how you can fact check, and how you can video edit, how you can anchor, how you can report. So if our people are not professionals, we just cannot rely on monostream media that they are going to hire you, or they'll democratize themselves, or they'll give the representation for the community. They are good for nothing. You cannot trust them. So you need to have your own people around you, those who are professional, those who are really good in terms of profession, journalism, so that they can provide you with good content. They can have that kind of stories around you which really talks about your own people. So we need to train our people. That's always a challenge to the community journalists. Eighth point for me is the challenge to the Bahujan media is the team expansion. That in my personal opinion, what I have seen, that I've tried to hire different people from the community, those who are professionals also, or who are non-professional also. So what happens when you train them, when you hire to your small media organization, you need to pay. Like I have formula that I never ask somebody to work free for me. I pay them, even though I pay if I'm capable of paying 100 rupees, I pay them. I don't want them to work free for me, because that's against our ethic. We have been bonded throughout centuries old labor foundation is there. So we need to behave in a certain way. We need to respect their labor, and we can ask them to work with whatever we have. So that becomes a challenge to the community journalist and small media organization, that when you hire somebody, when you put somebody to your organization, you teaches them, you give them professional training, you pay salaries, you bear their expenses, and after certain point of time they leave your organization. Like within 6 months or within 8 months or within 1 year, they just leave your organization and they start your own YouTube channel. Because starting a YouTube channel is very easy, as I was talking about, that you just need your mobile phone and you see, okay, this is very easy, I can talk about, I have a very good communication skill, I'm good enough with my language command, and I can start my own YouTube channel. So what, in my personal opinion, what I have seen, that numbers of people with whom I had training sessions, I trained them, I give them lot of resources, I give them professional training, and later on they started their own YouTube channel, and they parted ways. So that becomes a challenge, that how you gonna have your team. You have lesser people who are professional, there are less professional journalists around you, and the non-professional journalists which you are training them, they leave you at certain point of time. The numbers of reasons are there. I'm not saying that I was very kind enough and good enough, so they quit because they wanted some other opportunities in life. That's fine, that happens in any profession, but that becomes a challenge to the community journalists, that how you're going to have good people in your team, how you're going to expand your team if you want to have that national Bahujan media kind of team, or some bigger media houses. So that becomes a challenge. That's always there. 9 point for me is the that some community journalists are also corrupt. I need to accept it. Just 2 minutes. Just wind up. I see that some of the Bahujan media journalists, those who are doing community journalism, are corrupt somehow. They are compromising with the Ambedkarite media legacy, with their ideology also, and they are not, delivering something really good for the community. They used the Bahujan media title or Bahujan Ambedkarite media title for their personal gains, and we have seen that numbers of people are in a surrendered position. We need to accept that we just cannot appreciate you, that you are part of Bahujan media. We need to accept that yes, something wrong is also going there. We need to have it. And other thing is there that what happens to the community journalists, that they start portraying themselves as the victim. They start, too much victimhood to the stories also. For me, if you are, just going to a village, and if you are going for a story and covering that particular issue, if somebody is there, a victim is there, that story is very important. The story is really important, that you need to talk on somebody's behalf, and you need to put their story. You just cannot, put your struggle of reaching out to that village, that oh, रास्ता इतना ख़राब था, मेरे को भूख लगी थी, मेरे को सैंडविच नहीं मिला, मेरे पास पानी नहीं था, मैं देखो यहाँ से ऐसे ऐसे गया और वहाँ पे जाके स्टोरी किया. You cannot be the story. You just cannot be the victim card always. You just cannot. You need to come out of that victimhood. That's really important, because unless and until if you are not having that kind of approach, you gonna feel that you are more important. You're gonna give importance to yourself, and your story is that lost. Story is lost actually. So you need to give a priority to your stories, and you need to behave in a particular manner if you are saying that you are part of Ambedkarite legacy. Because if you say that I'm an Ambedkarite journalist, you have a big responsibility of carrying the Ambedkarite legacy forward. So you cannot compromise, you cannot corrupt yourself. I have seen that recently Rahul Gandhi's Bharat Jodo Yatra was there. I just wanted to share it with you. They were, Rahul Gandhi's team was trying to, give interview to the different influencers, social media, Bahujan media journalists also. And what was the condition? That you need to send the questionnaire. You need to send the questionnaire prior. Will give you the information that what kind of questions are going to be there. Will select questions, and later on they said ki we will shoot the entire interview on their own camera. They'll use their own camera team, and later on they'll give us the final edited clip. That okay, we are going to give you the final edited clip. They will cut particular point if they don't like it. They'll cut the particular questions if they don't like it. And I said, no, I'm not your PR agent. I'm not working on your as an agency to you. I'm not going to use this opportunity as a interviewing Rahul Gandhi. So I'm not going to do it. So I need to take decision, because I'm part of my Ambedkarite legacy. So community journalist has to take this responsibility very seriously, that you just cannot behave in a certain manner. You are part of biggest legacy, and we are grateful to the community journalist in that way, that some people are really taking care about the legacy. Last point, just a minute, I'm so sorry. Last point I'm just trying to make, that 10th point for me is a challenge, is the community support. I see that my community people, those who are doing journalism and they have good subscriber base, they have good reach, they are not creating that kind of content which shapes the mind of our community, which impact on our people's lives. Although they are just doing the fear journalism, we call it fear journalism, that संविधान खत्म हो जाएगा, मनुस्मृति लागू हो जाएगी, 5,000 साल से शोषण हो गया, 10,000 साल से हो गया, फिर कोई बोलता नहीं 15,000 साल से हो गया. They are not putting you the way forward, that what kind of solutions are there, what kind of solutions we can talk about. आपका 5 साल का next year 5 years का क्या plans होंगे, क्या चीजें होंगी, you're not talking about them. You're just doing some kind of fear journalism to the community, which is not good for me. I believe that you just cannot put fear in your audience's mind, your people's mind, because they are already suffering a lot. You need to put confidence in them. You need to build confidence so that they feel confident and they work hard to make their lives better. You cannot play the fear card to the community people, and the community has to support it. If that kind of journalism has becoming an habitual to the community, that our people appreciate some kind of content which is abusive, which is full of hate, which is aggressive. They like it, they share it, and they watch it in millions. But if you are doing some kind of really serious journalism, good journalism, they don't like you, they don't watch it, they don't share it. So that supportive community has to be there. The community support has to be there, that if some people are doing really good journalism, you need to come, you need to support them. Subscription is free. You don't need to pay for it. You just need to press the button that is free. We say that we have a great community, we are larger, we have 85%. At least you can subscribe to the community channels, that they have good audiences, they become a good media organization. At least at free you can just subscribe to the community journalism. And if I believe that if my people are not competent enough to understand such insightful, depthful, research based content, data based content, it's my responsibility to make my people competent enough so that they can have that kind of habit of digesting that content. I need to make them understand that this is really good, and they will be, over the period of time, you can develop the taste of news, you can develop the taste of content. So that's become a responsibility for me, and community has to distinguish such kind of journalists, and they need to support, and they need to make it the fuss and news, differences between fuss and news. So I believe that these are the 10 challenges which Indian Bahujan media is facing, and we have a way forward that we can unite, we can collaborate, we can, like in Bahujan media, we had some kind of discussion that we can have a kind of forum, we can share content to each other. If I'm from Delhi, I can share content. If somebody is from Bihar, they can share content. If somebody is from Telangana, they can share content. So some kind of collaborations are really important to the community. I believe that one day will be more good enough to work for the community, and community journalism is the real future and mainstream journalism of India. So thank you for giving me chance. My time is over, so we'll talk later. Thank you so much. Jai Bhim, Jai Jyoti, Jai Johar. Thank you so much for inviting me. Thank you.